Doraemon really exists. He once saved the world. I used to think, just like all of you, that Doraemon only existed in cartoons, but he truly came to this world. It is just that all of you have forgotten him. I do not know whether you will be able to see this diary, but there are some truths you need to know. The above content comes from a strange diary. A report from an amusement park stated that a huge, worn-out Doraemon statue suddenly appeared in the center of the park for no apparent reason. Inside its pocket, they found this strange diary. The diary records a fairy tale story about Doraemon saving the world. At first, I thought it was just some child's childhood fantasy, but I never expected the truth behind the diary to be far beyond what you and I could imagine. What follows is the full content of the diary. July 9th, 2013. Mom and Dad finally said yes today. They took me to the amusement park. This amusement park is newly opened and there were people everywhere. I was having a great time at first, but what happened later was really strange. I saw the balloon in my hand float up into the sky and then disappear. It did not slowly fade away, it just suddenly vanished like that. And then a strange alarm sounded from somewhere not far away. I saw the tallest building nearby. Its top suddenly disappeared as if it had been sliced off by a knife. Then the second tallest and the third tallest did too. All of those tall buildings were cut apart, except for the Doraemon statue in the amusement park, which I liked the most. Right after that, terrified screams erupted throughout the amusement park, and Mom and Dad looked very anxious. They seemed to be on the phone, but I heard there was no signal anymore, and a huge bird appeared in the sky. I had never seen a bird-like creature like that before. It circled above the amusement park, and Mom and Dad wanted to take me out of the park. Then we ran into the first person who tried to leave. He told us that the area near the amusement park had collapsed, and the amusement park had suddenly been surrounded by a forest. The forest was full of many huge, terrifying creatures. There were also many people who ate other people. They were like zombies, and if you went into the forest, they would try to eat you. Those terrifying creatures would surge toward you like a flood. Later, more and more people who tried to leave came back, and they were all telling the same story. The entire world around the amusement park was replaced in an instant. No one knew what had happened. July 10th, 2013. No one had ever seen a starry sky like the one last night. Today, the sun rose from the north again. People started talking about how this was not our original world. Nothing special happened today because no one dared to go outside. But right now, the real threat is not from the terrifying creatures in the forest. Instead, it comes from the people inside the city. I saw robberies with my own eyes, and people even started killing out of desperation for food. Morality seems to have completely disappeared. July 23rd, 2013. Some people took the lead and formed an organization to maintain order. Everyone seemed to cooperate peacefully. Most of the remaining food in the stores was fairly distributed, and everyone capable of working seemed to do so without hesitation, including myself. Some scientists used equipment to build a small power generator. Power was restored to the amusement park. Everyone seemed to finally emerge from their initial fear and confusion and gradually calm. July 30th, 2013. Without realizing it, we have been here for almost 3 weeks. Some problems seem to be getting more and more serious. The first is the food and water situation. Some people manage to plant wheat and potatoes in the open spaces. This is still not enough. Our food and water are almost running out. It indeed rains from time to time, but very few people think it is safe to drink the rainwater. To solve this problem, people sent out expedition teams to explore the jungle. These expeditions usually end in the same way. That is, no one ever comes back. Only once or twice did someone manage to return to the amusement park, but those people were no longer themselves. They did not remember who they were or why they had come back here. The second problem is the forest. For the first dozen days or so, the forest seemed to have no effect on us. But not long after the power was restored, the forest launched an attack on us. Terrifying creatures and zombie hordes would randomly break into the amusement park, slaughtering wantonly on the streets of the park. Originally, people were helpless against these creatures. The third problem only became apparent later. It is a health issue. Those who returned from the forest seemed to have brought back some kind of strange disease. It started spreading among the crowd. Some people got sick, initially just like a fever, slowly developing into a nightmarish change. Mom and Dad told me this is a genetic mutation. These people's bodies and appearances twisted into very terrifying shapes, and they would completely lose their sanity, indiscriminately attacking everyone. Once the disease develops to this stage, killing them seems to be the best option. September 30th, 2013. To deal with the attacks of monsters and zombie hordes from the forest, people spontaneously formed patrol teams, and the members would work in 24-hour shifts. Where could we see the whole park? The high-rise buildings were all cut off by a mysterious force, leaving only. We can climb onto the head of the Doraemon statue. That is the only vantage point right now. Up there, the patrol teams can see the movements of monsters and zombies from far away. Everyone can give early warnings and get prepared. October 30th, 2013. The early warning method is indeed very useful. Over the past month, casualties have dropped significantly. We also finally don't have to constantly watch out for the zombies in the forest while sleeping. All of this is thanks to the Doraemon statue. Recently, at night in the amusement park, everyone plays music from their phones. Listening to that music we used to be so familiar with, people started gathering around the Doraemon statue, lighting bonfires and dancing together. I haven't seen everyone this happy in a long time. At that moment, many people believed he must be the guardian deity here to save us. January 2nd, 2014. Recently, scientists discovered the creatures in the forest seem not to attack sick people, so these people began to take charge of exploring the forest. Today, we finally reached the edge of the forest, but this was a despairing discovery. The edge of the forest is entirely ocean, an endless giant ocean. This is a discovery that makes people despair. February 2nd, 2015. It has been almost a year and a half since we came here. More and more people are starting to accept reality. They no longer talk about leaving this place. Everyone seems to have gradually gotten used to life here. Every day is boring and helpless. The adults make up story after story to tell the children, and the main character of the stories is always this Doraemon statue that protected us. Gradually, everyone started to treat this place as home. Something like our guardian deity, the Doraemon statue standing in a circle with us, singing and dancing, also became our new tradition. This too seems to have become a spiritual support for everyone. It gave those of us who survived the courage and hope to go on living. I also hope to become a member of the patrol team. That way I can protect everyone with our guardian deity. When I started writing in this diary after coming here, there was a long period of blank time. By the time I started writing again, more than 10 years had already passed. January 2nd, 2025. I probably haven't written in this diary for a long time because every day of life is so repetitive. There is nothing worth recording, so I started writing again. It was because there was a new discovery recently. A few days ago, someone discovered that at the only lookout point on top of our guardian deity, if you tuned the receiver carefully, you could pick up a special radio station from the world we used to live in. So everyone once again ignited the hope of going home. January 10th, 2025. Scientists immediately began tracing the source of the radio signal. They discovered that the signal was being transmitted from inside Doraemon's pocket. Today, the scientists decided to pry open Doraemon's pocket and dig inside, but many people were stopping them. Do they really want to destroy our guardian deity? Just as everyone was arguing, the rock at the mouth of the statue's pocket suddenly fell off on its own. The rock that made Doraemon's statue was very hard. It couldn't possibly have fallen off naturally, so everyone believed this was a miracle. It was Doraemon once again protecting us and helping us return home. March 15th, 2025. After the preliminary preparations were completed, we officially began digging today. After digging more than 1 meter deep, everyone was shocked to discover that the entire inside of the Doraemon statue was actually hollow. It was a huge, black, empty space. It seemed to extend downward to a very deep place. Scientists lowered some equipment tied to ropes down from one side. What terrified everyone was that everything sent down was swallowed by the black hole. No one knew where it had gone, but many people firmly believed that those vanished things had gone home. This was a reasonable assumption because of that radio signal.